Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. It is Wednesday. We had a very long break and it was very much needed. Don't you agree, Miss Patty?
You had a break. I didn't have a break.
I didn't truly have a break. I just didn't have to do the show for 2 extra days.
Well, I mean, we
Still
had a
doing
meeting
lots of fun
Monday
family
night, which
stuff
was,
though.
yeah, we had a meeting Monday night, which was good, but it goes on. The show must go on.
The show must go on. And you know what? It was great. We got to go and see Leanne and her and see the grand. And so then we got to go and we came down here to Corpus Christi for yesterday. Yesterday was adventure, Miss Bennig. I have to tell you guys about this. Yes, this is my luck. Okay, so we big thing on the beach for 4th of July, blah blah blah, right? So we get to the beach and we're hardly there. I don't even think by the time we're set up and everything. Arthur and I are out and we're boogie boarding, right? Like we're super excited. We're out boogie boarding. It's a great moment. The stars are aligned. And then we Arthur feels like he gets stung. Now, when we first got there, it said there was a red flag warning and a purple flag warning. And it's like, I don't know what a purple flag warning is. So I looked it up and it said that it just meant that there's something on the beach that could sting. And I'm like, oh, okay. Am I having technical issues? Hold on. I was afraid that I may end up having to come over to a different hotspot. Let me see if I can switch it really quick. I'm on the hotel's hotspot, but it's trying. Hold on. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. Now you're froze.
Okay. Is it better now?
Your voice is better.
Okay. Okay. Oh, and my stuff is finally loading, so we might be winning. We might be winning. Okay. So Arthur and I are out there and we're boogie boarding, and all of a sudden he just kind of stands up and he grabs the inside of his thigh, and he just kind of has this really kind of weird look on his face, like And I was like, "Hey, are you okay, buddy?" And he's like, no. And so we went back onto the beach and I looked and it kind of looked like he may have been bit by something. And I was like, that was weird because I've been looking. I'm not even seeing minnows. Like I'm not seeing anything in the water. And so I was like, that's kind of odd. So I said, you know what? I wonder if maybe he got bit by whatever the purple flag warning was. So I go back out there. Like, he sits down for a couple minutes and he's like, yeah, I think I'm okay. And I said, hey, why don't do you need to go pee-pee? And he's like, yeah. So I said, okay, when you go in the water and pee and try and pee where it was. And then it was fine, right? And I was like, okay, good. So then he's like, all right, let's go again. So I said, okay, let's go again. So I'm looking around a little bit. I don't see anything. We get back out there. We start bodyboarding a little bit again. And then I get stung. Same exact place that Arthur gets stung. And it's like, what the crap? So I'm like, okay, man, that really burns. Okay, so then I go out and I do the same thing. Well, just as soon as I start going to the bathroom, Charlotte comes up, and then all of a sudden we both just get torn up by this jellyfish. Like we got, bad. I've never, I'm going to show the pictures of the jellyfish. I have never been torn up by jellyfish like this before. Let me show you her. I want to show you her little arm first. This was last night after we got back. Now, I know how bad my leg hurt, and my leg was bad. Look at your heart's going to break, America. I'm so sorry. Can you see the burn marks on her arm from this jellyfish?
Poor baby.
Oh, heart. And see, look, it wrapped all the way around her wrist. And then it got oh wow, that is a lot of leg right there. It tore up the whole back end of my leg also. So we're there, and I didn't the pee was not working, right? The pee trick was not working at this point. So I said, we're gonna have to. I said, I'm starting to get into this awful painful sweat, and so I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to take her. I know what mine feels like. I can't imagine what her feel like. So she and I get in the car. There's a CVS at the end of the island. We head over there. The clinic had just closed, but I was like, you know what? There is Shut up, Simon. So I said, if this is common, I know that this is common. So let me ask. So there was an older woman. Oh, I say older. My mom's going to slap me across the face because she was probably not my mom's age. And so, but she worked there. And I said, hey, I showed her our burns. She goes, baby, that was jellyfish. You need vinegar. And so she walks over and they were out of vinegar. She went to the back. They were out of vinegar in the back. So she tells me where there's a store. I go, I get the vinegar, instantly clears up the burn.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy smokes. Well, then when we got back, there was another family that had just gotten there and they were apparently from Colorado. And so Manny and Austin at that point decided that they were going to, they were seeking revenge. And so they started catching jellyfish.
Revenge of the jellyfish.
It was their revenge. So they must have gotten, I think, like 5 or 6 jellyfish. And hold on, I'm going to show you. These things were there. If you've ever seen them, like truly seen them, like they're actually kind of spectacular, realistically.
Mm-hmm.
But then but they freaking hurt like the dickens. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They were not fun to be eaten by. But I don't know if you can see, some of these tentacles are really long. Anyway, so he caught the first one, and he put it in a bucket or whatever. Well, I was like, I'm not keeping this stupid thing around. So I dumped it out over in front of my car. Charlotte took that as, she asked where it was. And so I told her where it was, and she went over and she screamed at it. And then she threw sand on it. The rest of them, Manny caught and released. And so if you've ever seen SpongeBob, oh great, there's my drive. If you've ever seen SpongeBob, huh? And she spit at it. I don't know if you guys heard her say that. But she said, and I spit at it. So anyway, they were just gross. So we had fun though. We this family over here, their little girl ended up getting stung also. So we were able to save the day. I bought the big thing of vinegar, and I'm glad that I did. Because it got used, unfortunately, a couple more times. And but other than that, we had fun. There were still lots of smiles and laughter and memories for the kids. So aside from that, it was a great day on the beach.
You know, I had seen a warning about the jellyfish down there because they said that these are not from our area. These actually came in from, I forget if they said Venezuela or even further than that, but it was an unusual kind of jellyfish that is not.
Interesting. That makes sense, because I'm like, we were both kind of shocked, Minnie and I were, because I'm like, I don't think I've ever seen these kinds of jellyfish here before.
Yeah. And you can get stung by jellyfish even if it's dead.
Yeah, that was something that we were asking, because Minnie was like, I think you can still get stung by them regardless. Hi, Miss Rachel. Here's our true expert on all things maritime. We're talking about the vicious jellyfish that were at Corpus Christi that stung the hell out of Charlotte and I this week. Yeah.
Didn't they come, Rachel, did you read that they came from somewhere not around the Gulf Coast?
I did not know about those, but that sounds awful. I was thinking of, in Galveston, Port Bolivar area where I am, we get those Portuguese man o' wars sometimes, and those things are brutal, but those are not what I saw the pictures you showed, Sandra. Those were not the same. I don't know what kind of jellyfish those are, but man, it's the worst when you're just out there swimming along, minding your own business, and then bam. But I didn't know the trick about vinegar. I've always heard pee on it or meat tenderizer. But I've never heard the one about vinegar.
I had forgotten about meat tenderizer, and so then when everything had settled, I sent everything to, I got a group chat with my mom and my sisters, and so I sent everything to them. And my mom said, because they used to live in Hawaii and all that kind of stuff, and she said, we always kept meat tenderizer for that very reason. She said, and I didn't know about the vinegar either. And I said, and the pee trick worked on the single bite. But on that massive bite, like what Charlotte and I had, it did not help it at all. Like it was terrible. I've never felt I told my mom, I said, as much pain as I was in, I know I have a higher, pain level than she does. Like
Right.
her whole arm, like it's just like it's almost her whole arm.
Well,
it's fine now, and the vinegar cleared it right at. I mean, within minutes, it was all better.
where clearly she had her head on straight when she went over and yelled at it and spit on it.
She did.
She won. Way to go, Charlotte.
It was like she did. She looks at it. She's just telling it off and everything, and then she takes 2 big handfuls of sand and throws it at it. I was like, some girl.
Someone is teaching.
They were applauding you screaming at the jellyfish.
Who?
Miss Patty and Miss Rachel and the TFL family.
What?
Yeah.
You go for it, girl.
So those were the adventures on the beach yesterday. So we but then we were laughing because Manny and Austin were now on this jellyfish. And you know what? They actually got 2 jellyfish before they got somebody else. So they were on a mission to save people from jellyfish on the beach.
Those jellyfish were probably a warning to stay out of the water.
Well, and you know what? I had never seen a purple flag on the beach before. And so I was like, what the heck does that mean? So I looked it up because what's funny is last week on the show, I was like, hey, if you're going to the beach and you're doing things, make sure that you pay attention to the warning signs that they put out. And so I saw the red flag and I said, okay, the undertow is going to be a little bit rough, which it really wasn't. I mean, it was definitely kind of strong. We made sure that the little ones were closer to us than usual. But I was like, I've never heard of a purple warning. But usually you can see the jellyfish, and like this one, like we had to work for it because they blended in quite well.
They
So
probably
pay
put
attention to the warnings and take vinegar.
Yeah.
They probably put purple flags up because they knew that people don't look at the red ones or yellow ones. They just ignore them and go in anyway.
Well, the red and the yellow are specifically for the currents, but the
people ignore them.
But I guess there was like a purple one and like a green one, I guess, have to do with the sea life or the bacteria levels. Do you know, Rachel?
I'm so sorry, but where I live, it's like the poor beach and we don't have flags. It's everything at your own risk, unincorporated. It's not like the fancy beach with the Baywatch lifeguards and all that kind of. This is like just beach. Okay.
Well, no, this is just beach also. And honestly, we only saw the beach rescue once. We never saw any security. And usually we do because we typically, when we go to Corpus, we go up to Mustang Island. And that's where we were at, was Mustang Island. So,
yeah.
It's because all the security is not on the border. Well, it's somewhere else. We don't know where. Though I did see a border agent cutting razor wire to let people in. Did you see that?
Yes, I was just gonna say, can we talk about that?
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. So the landowner is trying to justify it by saying, I told the Border Patrol agent to let these children in because it was children.
I'm sorry, landowner.
It's
against the law. They're illegal immigrants, landowner. If you want to hand them some sandwiches through the wire or some bottled water or something, but I mean, you can't just
or keep them on his land.
Decide that these people get to immigrate.
Since when does the landowner tell the border patrol what to do?
So technically, this is where it gets sticky. So the Border Patrol has the right, but then it can because if not, now you're talking about eminent domain. So do you really want the federal government to have because let's put it inside of the U.S. Look at all of the issues that we've had. Even remember that cattle issue a couple of years ago, and where was it? Wyoming, Idaho, something like that, where the government was trying to eminent domain so that the landowner did not have the rights. And so
whose razor wire was it?
Well, it's technically the state's.
It's not the landowner's razor wire.
That's
the
right.
landowner gave permission for the state to place the razor wire, right?
Not necessarily.
The article I read said he had that he had given his permission.
Okay. So but the problem is that even with that being the case, so what's happening is that the landowners are still liable for whatever happens to these people. So we had a case down we had a case several years ago down on a ranch in Starr County. Well, it encompasses several ranches. It's the Jones Ranch. And illegals were killed on his property because they stole his pickup truck and crashed it into a cattle guard. And then the family from, I think it was from Venezuela, Guatemala, one of those two anyway. It was one of the further south countries. They sued the Jones Ranch for millions of dollars. It got all the way to the Supreme Court before the Supreme Court the Supreme Court of Texas, before they came back and said, wait a minute, this is stupid. Are you kidding me right now? But it had gotten that far. So the problem is that landowners are being sued by the people. They're still liable for whatever damages happen to the personal beings. So they're being sued from other countries. Best part is they're American lawyers that are suing them. So we have American lawyers who are acting like ambulance chasers for illegal aliens who break into people's property. So now the landowners are going, what are we supposed to do if we push them off, or we just let them die, or we let whatever they get hurt? That's their problem. We're now liable because the courts are not enforcing our rights as landowners because these people have been trespassed on, or because they trespassed on our property. Even if they have the signs on there that says no trespassing and things along that nature. So the landowners are getting screwed by the state, they're getting screwed by the federal government, and they're getting screwed by the illegal aliens twice. Because
they're probably paying for all of it.
They sue them for the damages that they've done to their property. I mean, it's a crap situation for landowners on the border. I'm not even playing a game right now. It's a damned if you do and a damned if you don't situation all the way around for them. So while I completely disagree, I just saw that. R. Kelly is volunteering to be a Texas lifeguard with the speciality of being on jellyfish. And the best part, I don't know if that was Walter or if that was Ken.
I don't know. We need to find out, though.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay. So yeah, so that's it kind of sucks because one of the problem, like there's a landowner who has a whole bunch of the razor wire that's on the river, but like the National Guard, when they put it out, like they put it on the fence that they had put out, but then they just kind of threw it haphazardly into like ravines and stuff. And the problem is that if that gets caught, let's just say that somehow it breaks off, a storm comes, it washes it down river or whatever, somebody else gets snarled on it, somebody's cattle gets snarled on it, guess who's responsible? The landowner, not the state. Just like when we send our kids off to public schools, when we sign all those documents and say, you're not liable if something happens to my students. Yeah, you can put you can put your fencing or your razor wire on my property. Oh, but you don't assume responsibility if somebody gets hurt by it. That's fantastic. Thanks. What do they do?
Oh, just declare an invasion already.
Sandra's. I'm not ignoring. My emails aren't coming through again this morning. Oh wait, yours came through. I sent myself like 6 articles this morning. Because I did it on my phone. Well, because I didn't want to wake everybody up with my whole computer and everything. Okay, I don't know what Simon sent, but because I trust Simon wholeheartedly, we're just going to air it. Because that's what we do on this. We just, it's YOLO. It's YOLO all the time.
Is it the jellyfish one?
I don't know. It's something from Beautiful Creatures.
Oh, gosh.
I can't hear it.
Oh. I can see it, but I can't hear it.
Well, we can't hear it, Simon. And my volume's all the way up on it. I mean, I can hear like super faintly, but. It does look like Charlotte yelling at the jellyfish, though. I don't know what she was saying, though. I did look. Charlotte looked just as angry.
Sandra, I sent you an email too.
Just so that y'all can play this game at home, you can email me at sandra@texasfullyloaded.com.
She may not get it.
It's germane to the discussion. It is germane. Point of order.
Point of order. Is it germane? Is it germane to the discussion?
Oh,
God help us.
you must have opened it.
Oh, God, no. This is absolutely germane to the discussion.
So are you wearing your flag this morning, Sandra? She's ignoring me.
Hold on. I can't hardly hear. Hold on.
Yeah. 40 ounces of malt liquor make me want to taste something. Say, doves, cat, now I was high on shrubs, cooling in my Escalade. Man, I'm paid, I got it made. Take me to your special place. Close your eyes, show me your face. I'm gonna piss on it.
Did Miss Patty just...
I almost fell out of my chair.
Oh, God, I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
And I thought I'd seen everything.
Oh, man, that's funny stuff.
Charlotte should have been okay. She had 3 brothers there. I mean, what? Anyway.
What was funny is I even made a very profound statement earlier. I was like, nobody is peeing on anybody. And then I'm like, pee on her. Someone pee on her.
Somebody please pee on me.
Oh, we tried to.
And then meat tenderize me and marinate me in vinegar.
Vinegar. That's
yes. So was it just plain white distilled vinegar?
Yeah. Just regular vinegar.
So in theory, if you just happen to have a jar of pickles on hand, you could even use the pickle juice.
Probably.
You could
literally had pickles. Why
you could put a pickle poultice on it.
Well, you know.
We don't even need the guys today. It's probably the best.
If she'd have thought of that, that would have been okay. And then she could have told the beachgoers next to her, seriously, we're not going to put her on the sandwich. We're just using the pickle juice.
God.
Always bring a jar of pickles to the beach. The beach hates this one trick.
Be prepared.
Oh, man. We did, but what's funny is we did have pickles, but Manny had dumped out the juice or drank it or something because it was just making a mess everywhere.
Yeah, but I'll bet you can just put the pickles directly on it because, I mean, they're saturated in that vinegar. So
just pretend she's a hot dog and slap her.
Relish on it, yes. That's got to be the dill relish, not the sweet pickle relish, because sweet pickle relish is an abomination anyway.
I would think it probably is to change the pH of the skin.
That's Ken. That's who's commenting as TFLJ. We're sorry that a warning was not offered before the pissing video on behalf of TECN.TV.
No trigger warnings on this show.
Maybe we need to write the vinegar manufacturers and the pickle manufacturers and say, in a case of emergency and you get stung by a jellyfish, apply pickles to the area.
Yes, yes.
Ken's gonna should start running a warning before Texas Fully Loaded starts. Maybe if I ever actually redo the video. No, you know what?
No warning. You are just have to be an adult. Stop.
Warnings in a week.
If we have to be surprised at what's said, we shouldn't give anybody else a warning. I mean, geez, get a grip.
Yeah, no trigger warnings.
No trigger warnings. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. Oh, this is gold. Literally.
Okay, so back to the border discussion.
Well, one more thing, just
Razor
in case y'all
wire,
don't know
yeah.
this. You're a ginger, so you probably know. But vinegar also pulls the sting out of sunburns.
Yes, I did know that one. And also, okay, this was from my childhood, I remember too. Remember the Sea Breeze toner? The Sea Breeze astringent, I mean, we would use that too on a sunburn.
That
But
makes sense.
it was the Sea Breeze kind.
Oh, well, I
Do
mean,
they even make that anymore?
Yes.
They do. Okay. I haven't seen it in a long time. I just randomly remembered that.
Well, I think it's all about changing the pH on the skin. I think milk works too on sunburn. May work there. Heck,
I know
as bad
mustard's
as you
supposed
hurt,
to work also.
I'd have poured anything.
Oh,
Okay, so
Weird
pickles,
desperate.
mustard. What else?
just have a
Ketchup.
cookout.
Just make yourself into a hot dog.
Just
Turn
condiment.
yourself into a hot dog.
Can you see poor little Charlotte's face as her mother slathering ketchup on her leg? Oh, still
Better yet,
Charlotte.
the mustard. I didn't even yank mustard.
She would if it stopped the thing.
That's true. That'd be your new hero.
But mustard makes sense because mustard has vinegar in it. So
Yeah. And so does ketchup. And if you'd have just
Put
thought
some
ahead.
horseradish on it.
I need to do better. Gosh darn, that was the moral of today.
Some
And I was so proud of myself. And Alex even had said, no, because Alex and I were, he always asked me, well, not always, but we were in the car. So he was like, so how was your show for you? So I was telling him, I said, it was fun because I was even talking about, people going to the beach and stuff. Make sure you pay attention to the warning signs, blah, blah. So we are prepared for everything except for vinegar.
The more you know.
And this is the reason why older people have wisdom. They've been there, done that.
Well,
I did stay in the shade now.
No, it's just, get a bucket and make sure everybody pees in that bucket in case of emergency.
Yeah.
Hey, but wouldn't that have been the answer, the solution yesterday?
Yes, it would have solved the problems, but
Yeah, gross.
Oh, speaking of what was it you gagged on last week during the program? I'm sitting here watching a serious discussion, and all of a sudden, Sandra is gagging. I mean, just like.
Oh, you know what? I think something got in my mouth.
Ew.
And I said, it's when you were talking about raccoons, and I said you were coughing up a hairball.
Yes, something. Oh gosh, I think I had taken a sip of something, right? Or something ended up in my mouth, and I don't like. Oh God, this is already going to come out wrong.
Stop now.
I don't like foreign objects in my mouth that are unexpected. Just
Hi, Charlotte.
enjoy that for what it is.
Well, there's something else. There's something else that makes you gag. I don't remember what it is. It's something that's in food, and you said if you get any of it, it makes you gag.
I don't know. There's a couple things. I try. Yeah, you see that brother right there? He can help you. That brother right there. We have Austin is helping with Little's duty because Dad and usually it's hair. Okay, all right. Coffee grinds. Yesterday morning, Austin and I went to the store. And I took a huge swig of my coffee from the lobby downstairs, and it was all coffee grinds, and I started spewing it everywhere. Like Simon might remember about what it was because he was like, "Stop! I'm trying to eat my lunch." What was I gagging? What was I gagging?
I don't think you ever told us.
I don't know if I did or not.
But if you've ever seen a cat get a hairball stuck in his, that's what it reminded me of.
Oh, Friday show. Now I'm with it. Okay, Friday show. I had to remember where it was. That's I don't know where half of my life is half the time. Friday show. Friday. I remember gagging on Thursday.
Do you gag often?
Usually, Simon said I'm thinking, but I can't get pee off my. All right, let's take a commercial break. Usually it's hair, coffee. Here's the big one: hair and coffee grinds. Those are my big moments. Peas. I'm not a big fan of
let's
peas.
recalibrate. Let's recalibrate
With a commercial break. I think that's we need that. And I played the wrong commercial this morning because I don't even know what day it is anymore. I also have pee on my brain apparently. We'll
it's
be right
a
back.
day.
We are back. A huge thank you to our amazing sponsors, the Montgomery County Tea Party. Don't forget the first and the third Monday of every month. Be at Citizens Grill in Conroe, Texas. The meeting starts at 6:30. Get there a little bit early so you can order something yummy to eat, hug some necks, ask some questions, all that fun jazz. Also, the Vietnam Veterans of America, your service and sacrifice went far beyond a distant shore. We continue to see the work of your hands, if you will, and feet, because you still continue to serve your communities, the service members around you, and their families. So thank you for everything that you do, and welcome home. Also, if you're sick and tired of the big box nonsense, go to mammothNation.com/#WeThePeopleWork. You're going to see it coming, scrolling right through here. It's $25 if you sign up under the #WeThePeopleWork link, and you get exclusive discounts to veteran and American-owned businesses, and this is the best part, you also help us out. So make sure that you go to mammothNation.com/#WeThePeopleWork. You're going to love it. Trust me. I know things. And then also, I'm super excited. We are probably by the end of the week, we should be able to launch our new Shopify site that I told you guys, my dad has started a business. And so we'll be able to offer t-shirts and coffee mugs. So I'm going to need you guys to hook a brother up. Okay. Support your favorite show. Show it off because you're going to love it. I promise. Everyone's going to be like, oh my gosh, I love your shirt. Because when I wear the cheap shirt that I made all the time, everyone's like, oh my gosh, I love it. So imagine a nice professionally made shirt, how much nicer that'll be. And then just because I can, my friend Carrie has a business also, and she made this cup, and I got it because y'all may not know this, but Sanderson, Texas is the cactus capital of Texas. And since I've been doing a lot of work out in Sanderson, I was like, oh my gosh. So I saw this picture, or I saw her make this cup, and it's like, I need to have this. And I ordered it. So if you want some individualized stuff, you can go to my girlfriend's page, Facebook page. It's Crafted by Carrie. And that is her logo right there. And you can get some personalized individual stuff also. So yay for that. It's important that we shop local businesses and our friends' businesses because they make the world go round.
So is your dad going to make a Women on Wednesday shirt?
He is. It's one of the things that we're working on. So it's a slow rollout, but we're getting there. The coffee cups we can do a lot faster on individual stuff, but not the t-shirts. That's a bigger process, but I'm excited nonetheless. It's getting there. We're making it happen. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Tell him to make sure we have good hair days on the pictures.
He did say that one of the first one of the very first ones that he wants to do is like some fun caricature style coffee mugs for us. So I'm excited about that. So we're putting our brains to work so we can try. But my brain has been apparently, I've got pea brain, just like Simon does.
Hi, Arthur.
Say hi. He can't hear y'all, but y'all can hear him if he says
so adorable.
Which is probably a good thing.
Hey, really quick, tell everybody what your favorite part of the beach was yesterday. Oh, you're being a stinker. Look at that smirk. He's like, apparently for Charlotte, it was goldfish.
Goldfish, but they didn't sting.
Okay. All right, spit spot. Spit spot. We're on the air. All right. So, do you have a rate? Oh, the surfboard. Oh, you are going to give an answer. Bodyboarding. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. You have to shout out Rachel for reading the Declaration of Independence live.
Yes, yesterday I went live on Facebook with my son George, and we read through the Declaration of Independence. It's I don't know where I saw that. I think was it Colonel West last week on the show talked about making sure that you're reading it and just remembering and baking that in. And so I was like, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. So yes, we read that together, and I thought it was just something that's necessary at this point in time.
It is. And I'm glad that you guys did that. We did not, we had pee on our brain yesterday, so we did not do anything remotely like that.
We were a family of pea brains.
We were a family of pea brains yesterday. We have done that in the past. It's so important to do that. I usually share a video from Colonial Williamsburg, and in fact, let me see if I can pull up their video really quick because it's really cool. I'm really glad that you did that, Rachel.
Yeah, it was really neat. I think that's maybe something that we'll start to make a tradition that we do, just to remember what. And it was really funny too. And I actually still have it sitting here because we were sitting right here doing that, and reading through the items for redress. I thought, yes. I mean, a lot of them are
they're still currently
suffering under. Like, how many boxes do we have to check off here before we really take action? And then also it said, that we are, as humans, we're gosh, what is the word? We're disposed to suffer. It says, mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. So we're so used to this tyranny that we allow it and accept it, and we've just become groomed to accept it.
Mm-hmm. I think it's scary. And I've talked a little bit on the show before about if you really stop and I love Texas. I love Texas history. I love all of those things, but it's important that we really remember what the Revolutionary War was about and what the fight for freedom and independence was truly about. And if we look backwards, it's exactly like you said, it's exactly what we're facing right now. And our founding fathers would just absolutely be just devastated to see that we've allowed it to go right back to what they fought for. And they didn't just fight for it in the streets. They had to fight for it in the halls of justice, if you will. They had to fight for it in the halls of parliament. They had to fight this fight from across the ocean. And they didn't slow down. They didn't let that stop them. And so to see us just be so complacent with the allowance of, for lack of better terms, a monarchy. Bureaucracy is a monarchy. And
public-private partnership. Public-private partnership.
that when we allow them to completely rule over us, when we allow these bureaucrats, like Mayorkas, for example, he is a prime example of what a bureaucrat is. He's been there so is Biden, even though he's an elected official. They've been in these positions they've been in these positions for 50, 60 years. That's a lifetime.
It's disgusting.
We may as well be celebrating their grand jubilee like we did for the Queen of England at this point, because there's no reason that these people should be in these powers of position for such a long extended amount of time. That's exactly what the founding fathers were trying to prevent. And so by creating all of these extra necessary entities, that allows the bureaucrats to reign supremely, because at the end of the day, they have the ultimate say. It might be the commander in chief that has the ultimate say, but they take the advice of the advisors, which have been in that same position for 40 and 50 years.
Yes, they are the swamp.
The commander in chief it's not him. It's somebody else pulling his strings.
Well, I'm not telling you that you're wrong on that by any stretch of the imagination.
I mean, geez, I wasn't born yesterday. Anyway.
Not even for a second am I telling you that you are wrong. But I think that it's scary that people don't, they if they do read it, they don't
appreciate it.
They don't appreciate it. They think, oh, that was really, they went through a lot. That's not really.
It's not about appreciating it. They don't understand.
Yeah,
they don't understand what an unalienable right is. They don't. Okay, if you're a godless heathen, then how can you believe that our rights are granted by God and not by men? I mean, that's a huge roadblock in the first place. So a lot of people are not even able to approach understanding it because they deny God. I mean, they don't. This Constitution is inadequate for an ungodly people. Okay, this is for moral people who have a principles and a God that they serve that has rules and laws. Other than that, well, you don't have the foundation to build off of. I'm sorry, it's just how it is.
Yeah,
I didn't make the rules, so don't shoot the messenger.
No, I completely agreed. And I'm looking here because I'm trying to find this video, and it's probably in my memories, but I don't want to go scrolling through that. It's really cool because it starts off with Thomas Jefferson reading the preamble, and it has all of these people, whether it's a slave or whether it's a landowner or a shopkeeper or whatever, just kind of picking up where the next person kind of leads off. And we forget that the Constitution, that the Declaration of Independence specifically, since that's what we're talking about today, that was for all people of the United States. We were airing our grievances against the crown, and when you see these protesters that are out there, not the patriots that are going out saying, "Hey, this is what we're against. This is what we're fighting against. We're fighting for," and then you see these jackwagons pop up that really don't seem to have any care for what they just want to cause a riot, and it's kind of almost laughable. Speaking of a riot, hold on a second here, and laughable. Speaking of riots and laughableness,
it's Mr. West.
It's the leader of the revolution himself.
Dadgummit.
Okay, Walter, we're having a serious Constitution discussion here, okay?
Yeah, you missed the pee conversation. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I just had my morning Constitution.
That's constitutional.
Hey, Dennis didn't let Miss Patty out of the dungeon this morning?
Yeah, for some reason they got that side.
It's just like all of a sudden you're sitting at the dark.
Apparently the sun went behind the clouds because all of a sudden it got dark.
Let me out.
I want out.
She doesn't want out. She wants to stay inside.
I want to stay. I could open the.
Oh my gosh, Sheriff Capers is even watching our show, man. We've hit the big time now.
Oh,
we can all retire.
He must have heard I was just talking about him. He was probably listening on the other end.
He was probably making sure that you were talking.
I could go turn the light on. I'm going to go turn the light on. I have to get up to do it though.
Yeah.
So Walter, we were talking about the concept. Well, specifically, we were talking about the Declaration of Independence, which is, of course, what was read on 4th of July. It was. I always laugh at Walter at what you shared it on Bacon Nation, and it's Thomas Jefferson, and it's that was tomorrow. It was like July 3rd, 1776. It's funny, but he did it. Yeah, it was completely pinned on July 3rd. He spent 2 days writing it, technically.
Well, can you imagine all of the fancy calligraphy and everything? It's not like you can hurry up and type that up or scratch it. You can scratch it out. It had to be all flourished and
that's a part of the whole kids aren't learning cursive writing anymore, so they don't know about our country's history because you got to be able to read it, and if they think it's hieroglyphics, then again, all these people with these doctorate degrees come in and it's like, hey, this guy's going to tell you what your history is instead of allowing you to research on your own. Hence the, all the UNESCO stuff.
Did y'all happen to watch Water's World last night?
No, I don't watch Fox crap.
Well,
I'm boycotting Fox.
I'm boycotting Fox, except I wanted to watch Water's World last night because he went and they sent people on the beach to question young people about what independence what we were celebrating yesterday. And it
means I get to pick out my own mask.
It was like these people are absolutely wacko because they have no clue who we fought against, what we fought for, what the day was for, who the first president was.
Was it like Mexico or something?
I don't know where they were.
Jesus, you did that.
What's even funny is America fought for Mexican independence.
Say that again, Walter.
What's actually comical that nobody even thinks about? America fought for Mexico independence. When the French were trying to take over Mexico, not long after, but shortly thereafter, after Texas was improperly annexed into the nation, we were funneling guns. It was whoever the president was at the time, and I forget. But it wasn't Barack Obama, but it was Fast and the Furious.
It was the Fast and Furious.
Yeah, exactly.
It was, yes.
My favorite sheriff.
Yep.
I'll call you later.
So down in Del Rio, there's a lot of areas. Del Rio, Maverick County, Kinney County, Valverde County, and Terrell County. I got a dog doing something. And
I thought that was Sandra's kids.
Yeah, wow. I should have just kept it going with blaming it on her. But no,
it's fine. Just blame Sandra. Everyone else does.
We were running guns, and Pancho Villa was coming over here to. He was a part of their revolution against their military. He was taking safe haven in Texas until it just, him and the Indians decided to wreak havoc on all the settlers.
Okay, I got Simon's trivia question here. I
good.
think I can name them: Spain, France, Mexico. Was there an English flag? No, I don't.
Oh, you're about the 7 flags of Texas?
And then the United States.
The Confederacy?
Oh, the Confederacy. That's. I knew it wasn't England.
And then Laredo. Laredo had its own flag.
Laredo had its own flag because it was its own independent nation for 360 days.
Yeah.
What did that flag look like?
It had a big L on it.
And he said a tortilla.
With a
Miss Patty.
Tortilla on it. Stop it right now.
Miss Patty. No, I have to just. Laredo.
You want good tortillas, you go to Laredo.
That is a fact.
Can't get no white cheese. Ain't no white cheese in Laredo.
What kind of cheese do they have?
They don't have Blanco. No Blanco.
That is a fact. You cannot get good queso blanco in Laredo.
Queso.
Can't get good queso.
Well,
the very first, well, not the very first time, but on one of our first trips out of Laredo, and we went to a Mexican restaurant. I think it was up there in Houston. We got queso blanco, and I almost cried because I hadn't had it in years.
It's Walter's raccoon.
Whoa, that is a serious looking flag now. Okay.
Well, it is. It's. What were the 3 stars represented?
I knew you were going to ask me that question, and I was like, if I think about it, I'll be able to tell you. Hold on, let me.
Come see. You can
see. The flag of Laredo is the official municipal flag of Laredo. The flag is
that's municipal.
Oh yeah, that's not the
Republic.
That's for the city. Yeah, no. The Republic of the Rio Grande. It was called the Republic of the Rio Grande, and their flag was really cool.
And for $29.95, you can have one plus shipping.
The flag of the former Republic of the Rio Grande. No, that one's different.
Different.
I'm gonna find it. Hold on a second.
Patty, I'm surprised.
Now you're making me think.
I'll bet it's at that. Where is that in Montgomery County, where you guys have all the monument with all the flags and everything?
And that's Veterans Memorial.
Yes.
In downtown Conroe.
Yes. I'll bet they have it there because they have a ton of flags there.
I'll swing by someday.
Well, actually, Montgomery, the city, is the birthplace of the Texas flag, the Lone Star.
Exactly.
Well, actually, Anahuac is the cradle of the Texas period, of the Revolution, everything.
So that's the funny part. Everyone still thinks Gonzales was the first where the powder was first lit up and the
shots fired.
No, yeah, exactly. Actually, the first shots were fired near my beach house where Santa Ana signed.
Did they know it was your beach house?
Yep. Yeah. Our beach house literally is is down there in Surfside near where Santa Ana signed his surrender. It's right across the pond where the old Fort Velasco was. And in 1832, they fired upon the ships that were bringing the rifles in and to Santa Ana had somebody coming from New Orleans. What's funny was there was a bunch of mercenaries because they were Americans. Just pirates. So yeah, people they really have no clue. Everyone's trying to whitewash history. It's like, Texas was stolen from Mexico. No, Mexico
had tyranny over the Texians. Yeah,
that's right.
Right. Let's get it right.
Walter and his dog.
That's my wiener. That's Crusoe. He was the one that was screaming. That was my screaming weenie.
I thought it was.
Get off of here, Walter. This is women of Wednesday. No weenies.
Don't let them push you out. They've been talking about pee for 20 minutes. Rachel sent an R. Kelly video.
Oh man. Have y'all ever seen the what's that comedian's name? Dave Chappelle.
That's the video I sent.
Dave
yes.
Chappelle video, yeah.
I'll piss on you.
Those are spicy, baby. You don't want those.
Yeah, kind of coffee.
She's singing in the background. I was telling them the tales of the jellyfish from yesterday. It was horrific.
Oh man, you got bit by jellyfish?
Bit? They don't bite, y'all. They do not bite.
Sting.
They got little stingers and they inject.
And you know what? My leg looks much better.
Oh my gosh, y'all! They were from China. They were from China. They were from
China. Oh my gosh! I hope they didn't carry. I hope they didn't carry a virus of any kind.
Or virus, yes. Those were jellyfish from China, and they're injecting a new bioweapon into you.
We should have killed them.
It's called the Wuhan sting.
Mm-hmm.
And Walter and I both warned you about going into the water.
Don't go into the water.
Yeah, okay, but y'all were telling me that it was a bunch of bacteria and stuff, and that wasn't the case. It was jellyfish.
So you ignore
the bacteria warning was fine.
Have you checked the children?
Charlotte's arm still looks bad.
Some people never listen to us. Never.
My leg, you can only see like the enter point, so it looks like I just have like 4 or 5 dots. but our Charlotte still has like the burn marks on her arm, just like you saw last night.
Yeah, and if there are some in there that haven't triggered yet and you rub it, it can trigger them. So just FYI.
Now that makes sense because every once in a while, like where those couple little points are, I'll feel like a little, and then it just like a jolt. And then it's
a jellyfish sting is the only time it's cool to pee on yourself.
No, we already had that conversation, sir.
You're 30 minutes late, Mr. West. This is what happens.
Oh, no.
30 minutes late.
Don't
we
worry.
already have a contingency plan where next time we're bringing a bucket and everyone's pissing into this bucket.
No, it's got to be warm. It's got to be fresh. Yeah, you can't store your pee.
If it's in a bucket in the sand, it's going to be warm.
Because hey, in all truthfulness, all you got to do is drive up down the highway where everybody pees in a bottle and throws it out the window. That's why you always see it.
You can't have stranger pee on your leg.
Oh, she's something else that makes her gag.
You're not supposed to drink it.
I know, but
you can't have a stranger pee on you.
Oh, Simon, good idea. Can you put it in a microwave? You could bring a little saucepan and put it on your barbecue grill and reheat it.
If it's in a bucket sitting in the hot sand, I think it's going to be heated.
I think so too.
It's Walter's lifelong dream of talking about peeing on people. It's coming true.
Man. That's when pee is liquid gold, right?
I'm actually the one back in the 90s, my more creative years, is whenever I wrote that episode for Friends.
I forgot about that.
We need a little marker to put on his page when he's pulling our leg and when he's just.
Hey, you don't know if I'm pulling your leg or if I'm peeing on it, right? She was pulling on something.
They don't change the nozzle. Good one, Simon.
Yeah.
The other day I watched this.
We call it a Florida nozzle tug.
Shut up.
You know what? Someone told me that you shouldn't do that because it can make a spark.
Oh, it made a spark. Right.
Repeat that again.
I want to puke. That's all there is to it, Charlotte.
I watched this old Steve Martin movie the other day, and it's where this lady ends up inhabiting his body with him. And so, of course, he had to go to the bathroom. And so she's like, he said, okay, you have to take it out. And she like manhandles it. And he's like, no, not like that. And then after he finishes, she said, do you want me to shake it? He's like, yes, would you please?
Simon, I always shake it after I've pumped the gas, but if you shake it more than 3 times, you're playing with it. Oh, everyone knows that.
What does that mean whenever you're beating it up against the tank?
A rim shot?
No.
Bucky's will never be the same.
Walter, we may have to send you to timeout.
We're talking about pumping gas, right?
That's what I was talking about. I don't know what anybody else is talking about. Simon.
Oh, Simon, I know that joke. Yeah.
Walter. Okay. Now, Walter, on a serious conversation, on a serious note.
Walter,
I don't think we can ever recover.
You said that statement in one sentence.
Okay, Walter. We were trying to have some serious conversation on this show today. It didn't go well.
No, we weren't.
We were talking about the razor wire and the Border Patrol agent who cut the razor wire to let the illegals in. And the landowner came back and said, well, I told him to do it because it was children that were stuck. And as much as we want to have the conversation, you and I both know so many landowners on the border and who's liable.
I just want to say I saw the video and the children were already on the one side of the razor. They had made it across. It was the adults who couldn't get through the razor wire. And my thought was, oh, they must have been, the adults were too big to be able to maneuver through it. And so they let the adults come over since the kids were already over there.
Well, all I know is they sent the message that it has wire and eventually somebody will come cut it. And that's not the message you want to send. That is the failure of whoever the chief agent is who allowed that and permitted that to happen, whoever the acting patrol agent in charge is, or whoever was in that position. That was their failure. I've already talked to several sheriffs. Several sheriffs are like, man, we're conflicted. Other sheriffs are like, I would have arrested that guy. He facilitated trespassing on a property where they have a legal writ.
Aiding and abetting.
There's a legal affidavit that specifically states, arrest anyone coming across my land. That is why Kinney County, they're diverting around a lot of Kinney County right now, because if you do come through privately through their land, the police, they don't have to go find the homeowner because the landowner, they have a piece of paper that says arrest anyone, and that's what they're doing, is they're arresting anyone.
If that landowner signed that paper. Now, you're saying, though, that landowner specifically did sign that paper?
Yeah, that was put up on private property.
Go ahead and cut it. Very conflicting from the landowner. Well,
and so here's the deal. So that landowner gave a request to what do you call that? For destruction of state property, because that is state property. So I don't think that's the case. I actually think they went after the landowner and said, hey, what do you think about this? And it's the Border Patrol. They're going to lie to you anyway. So it's the federal government. That's what they do. I honestly think they went back and made their narrative up after, because they were looking for a way out.
You think?
Well, that's a very probable. There's really good agents out there, and then there's some really scumbag agents out there. So I'm not going to tell you you're wrong.
This is all PR. So it's up in the sector chief to the chief of the Border Patrol level. So this is out of the purview of any line agent. Now, any line agent that breaks the law should be arrested. Remember the serial killer? The serial killer that was the Border Patrol agent that people forget about. I got to watch excerpts of his trial. I also got to watch excerpts of the trial of that agent that killed his girlfriend and baby right there in Father McNaboe Park. And again, he tried to hide from it. These are things the Border Patrol doesn't want out. It's actually out on court TV now, so you can actually watch it, because these are things you'll never hear about. And people, oh, it's the Border Patrol this, it's the Border Patrol that. Look at the FBI. Look at all of your favorite dirty cops from around the nation and all their little police departments. We had them here in Houston. Minneapolis has them. Everyone has them. Your bad cops have got to go. And there's a small percentage, but whenever you hide that small percentage, it makes the problem look bigger than what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I felt like that was just a perfect opportunity they had there with the children on the one side and the adults on the and we have to do it because then they have to reunite this, keep this family together. Just
and again,
all of that narrative.
And you have agents that have already said, we're not doing the DNA kits anymore, so we can't prove that these kids belong to these adults.
Absolutely.
And so at that point in time, if those adults did not belong to those kids, that agent just contributed to human trafficking, to smuggling.
Yes.
Well, exactly.
And to the what do you call that whenever you're harming children?
Child abuse.
There's the child abuse, there's kidnapping. The whole bit. So you've literally just and again, if they have no legal rights for that, then we have Americans that if your kid calls, or if you can't feed your kid because you're poor and CPS gets involved, why is CPS from the state of Texas not involved down there now? That's the question they need to ask, and I'll go ahead and answer that for you. DFPS and then CPS have been under major overhaul here in Texas for years. It's been horrible.
That's a joke.
Number one, there's not even enough CPS agents to even begin to put a dent in just the domestic stuff that's happening here in the state of Texas from our own U.S. Texas citizens. Like, I mean, they are so when my sister worked for CPS in South Carolina, she was so I mean, they were the whole entire, and this was a small little city, and the county was not huge. And she's like, Sandra, we can't even keep up. When she was pregnant with Gabriel, like at one point, they were trying to have her on for 48 hours straight. When she finally had to just say, you know what, I'm taking my maternity leave. Like, I can't, I can pop at any minute now. And they're like, that's not our problem. We have kids that need help. And she was having to take the cops with her and everything all the daggum time because these people are freaking crazy.
Yeah, CPS, DFPOS, you know, they keep saying they're reforming, they're changing all of this, but I'm sorry. I feel like they just need to completely abolish it and start over. It is a mess. And that's coming from someone who has experience as a foster parent. I mean, that system is just broken. It is broken.
Yep. And my man, Isaac Ruiz, he's over there in that area. He actually used to work for the county government and the county and the city government over there. He's 100% spot on. He says it's child trafficking is a $30+ billion industry. And actually the latest number I had was around 40. So he is dead on.
Oh my gosh. That's sick. I haven't watched that movie yet, but I'm going to be watching it with a friend. She and I are going to watch it together. I really wanted to see it yesterday, but there was just too much going on, you know, that we had already scheduled with family and volunteering and all that kind of stuff. But yes, I will be seeing it.
I know
and
Marianne
yesterday
but I don't know I don't know the aftermath of it. I don't know how it was afterwards.
I saw yesterday a report that they opened with over, I think, $10 million or 10 million ticket sales or something like that.
Yeah, they broke some records yesterday.
Yes.
I think they broke the pre-sale
very
records.
Encouraging. Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy right now that we don't know if it's manufactured or not, but they I was a part of whenever we filmed we brought up the first movies. I held a viewing like 2015 or 2016 in the
right.
Woodlands. Actually, it was 2016 in the Woodlands at the Market Theater there. We had a theater. We had one whole theater for 2 viewings in an evening time, and we had a very good turnout. But the sad part was everybody walked away going, "Oh wow, that's disgusting! I can't believe I just watched that." Because it was the actual live footage. It was like cops, but they were going from different countries. It was an hour and a half of the bus being made, of Tim Ballard talking. You know, it was some guys I used to work with. It was really well put together. This one here is more about Tim Ballard. Obviously, it's to expose and to open it up, and with a headliner like Jim Caviezel playing the part, and Hollywood having their mention. You know, it's going to get really good exposure. The sad part is right now, you've got some wrangled investigations that were involved with whether or not the people fundraising are doing it for profit or for where it's supposed to go. So there's, you know, it's been wrapped up in those clouds of issues that have come out. Their tax base, you know, the amount of money they made the year before is I mean, they were in the $40 million range almost.
Are you talking about Underground Railroad?
Yeah. OUR. The Las Vegas Police Department came out against them on some things, their trafficking unit, because they were saying that they were overinflating some things. So my whole deal is I'm hoping that they'll address these. I'm hoping they'll address these things soon. And if they've broken the law, then the law needs to come in and needs to step in so that we don't have a bunch of grifters.
Have they broken the law, or are they just not doing what people who want to be collecting the money want them to be doing? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Is it a pissing match or what?
No, there's a lot of shade on whether or not half of those cases are even real.
We can't get away from Miss Banny.
I'm sorry, but you know how it is, and it's like, no, we have to come in here and do this job.
You're right,
you can't do this job. I mean, no, just rescue these kids.
Yeah, no, that's it. What's comical is right here in Texas right now, we have a lot of sheriffs that you probably would not even agree with on the Democrat side. They've stepped up and said, hey, wait a second, we need to take this problem more serious. They haven't seen the sound of freedom. I could tell you that for a fact. I was on a conversation yesterday with a couple, and I'm talking, these are some pretty big label sheriffs, and they are like, you know what, my local police departments are not doing the right thing. I'm going to need help. And so that's exactly what they're going to do. They're equating a lot of it to movement on the border. They're equating it not just movement on the border, but people flying in and out of Houston in these larger cities. And so if you've got an international airport or a rail or a bus line, I mean, Houston, everyone knows and everyone like, oh, it's Las Vegas. Oh, it's Los Angeles. Oh, it's New York. No, the city of Houston is the sex trafficking capital of this hemisphere. It far outweighs anything anywhere in the nation. So that Houston has the ability to hang their hat on that.
Why is it Houston?
Okay. Do you want here's the most uncomfortable explanation on the planet. So one of the movements of the libertarian movement is to make prostitution legalized. Now
that's why I can't be a libertarian.
Agreed. That's why I'm not a libertarian also. But if you stop and think about it, Las Vegas has legalized prostitution. And where I don't agree with the practice, listen to the argument. It's legalized. So if you're not doing it the proper way, they're going to catch you in a second. So that's why it's not the children and stuff like that that's going through there.
Sure,
it's places not. Where it's illegal because they can cover it up. Because the people who are legally doing it, they don't want it done illegally because then that hurts their business. So look, I'm not agreeing. I'm giving you the reason. I'm not giving you the
yes.
But so Las Vegas cleaned its act up. Right? They legalized marijuana. So now you can't buy that illegally there. So now you've cut down on that kind of stuff. They've legalized prostitution. So now you've got it so that they're not having the pimps issue like they were having, like what we're seeing in Houston. I know. I sound like a crazy person right now.
No, I know you're just stating facts, not saying that you agree with it. But I'm not buying any of that baloney. I am not buying any of it.
I need to what?
Get a big dog crate. We may have to put her in it.
Oh, she'll fit in whatever size you shove her in.
Funny.
Yeah.
Well, if you make everything that's illegal, legal, nobody will be breaking the law.
But that's why
it doesn't make sense.
No. It does make sense. That's the goal, and that's why they're trying. That's why they're trying to legalize pedophilia. This whole minor attracted person thing. That's nothing more than I want to abuse children sexually. That's exactly what those people are about.
Yes,
exactly. That's the reason.
It's just the slippery slope.
Look at the line between black and white, between right and wrong.
Look at the Texas YRs, the Young Republicans of Texas, of Houston, the whole bit. They've allowed homosexuality, they've allowed transgenders, and they're like, but we're Republicans, and this is what we want to do. They have all their sex parties. I mean, the stuff that's going on down from the Valley all the way up to Brian Slayton's office. That's all a part of it. All that stuff that came up out of Hidalgo County with their Young Republicans and what they've been doing. People are trying to take sides on that. It's like, no, it's just all wrong. You know, they're down there smoking weed. They're smoking pot at all their little conventions and whatnot. And the best
legal.
part is
it's legal. We can do it.
Yeah, the best part is these Young Republicans, this group, you know, they accept any age. They got people my age in there. Oh, well, he's an associate, he's an affiliate member. No, at some point you're not young anymore. You know, at some point you got to join the party.
Wait a second.
They're there to prey on the young people, Walter. Hello.
What's that?
I identify as being young.
You can identify as being young all day long. So are you on the board of the Texas Young Republicans?
No.
Okay.
Okay. All right. This is true talk, and I'm not throwing out names because number one, I'm terrible with them, and number two, I don't remember half of them. But when we have been to at the beginning in the 2020 campaign, when we would go to some of these YR events and stuff like that on the bigger level of stuff, and you would see the affiliate members or the associate members who are over the age of 40 that are involved.
Excuse me.
They are. Hold on. They're like grossly they're like the kind that look like they should be promoting maps.
Are you saying old people are gross, Sandra? Come on.
No, but there are some old people that are gross.
Honey. I'm sorry, we're old.
Okay, but we don't try and sexualize or be that creepy guy. Okay, they look like the guy at at Ashley's kids swimming class.
Oh,
on the
boat. Yeah.
So these are supposedly these are your Republican Party delegates and things like that, and they're trying to promote the YR. Hey, listen, the young Republicans. The young Republicans should be high school to college age, and once you're done there, then you should be an adult. And
I want to mentor young Republicans.
Well, and that's what you need to do. That's what your party needs to do. Y'all are no longer TFRW. You guys are no longer.
You missed it.
What's that?
Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, I want to groom young Republicans.
That's exactly what that group is for. That is. Those are called donor grooms. Yeah.
Okay, let's all gag.
For real, that is disgusting.
And you know what? That's a fact of life. Go, hey, look at Laredo. Laredo, they were so disgusted with the young Republicans. They created the Rio Grande conservatives, and then whenever the YRs, the state YRs, got involved. Sandra, you were there. They helped all those other people in the race. Hey, hang on. Those people have never come to Laredo again, and yet you have pedophiles in the Webb County Republican Party.
So what happened is
allegedly.
So they
Oh no, there's no allegedly. They are very open about multi-sexual whatever. I mean, they got some freaks that are a part of the Webb County Republican Party, or that were just removed from the Webb County Republican Party, that were precinct chairs.
Oh, wow.
So I think they are still a precinct chair.
That's what the RNC did.
Exactly. So they found out that back up. Let's take a step backwards for a second. So in 2020, after the election was over, the party was like, hey, we still want to be able to promote Sandra, but she's going to run again. So we need to be able to give her a position where she can still have some maneuverability. So they proposed to the Webb County Republican Party that I be nominated as the president of the YRs. And so I stood up in the middle of the meeting when they said this out loud. And I said, wait a second. I said, I appreciate the gesture. But the problem is that the Republican Party of Webb County has no jurisdiction over what happens with the young Republicans. That's a completely separate entity. Y'all are supposed to work together.
Same argument we have in Montgomery County.
Two different people. Y'all cannot. You as the party cannot tell the YRs what they have to do. So I respect it and I appreciate it, but that's something that the YRs have got to decide on their own. So fast forward, that's exactly what they did. We ended up creating a YRs because the one that was there was terrible. And so we created a new YRs.
Actually, the one that was there was nothing more than a booty call, and all they could talk about was South Padre Island and how it was from one party to the next.
Was it actually young people or no?
Actually, young people that rented vans that are now on the SREC. They were drunk the whole entire weekend. They're now on the SREC trying to act prim and proper, but they were at those YR conventions down at conferences or conventions, whatever they were called, down at South Padre Island, drunk on the beach, and it was one flavor after the next, rotating in the back of this rented van that they had. Again, the YRs in back of a van.
Was Jade Phelan there?
Hey, you never know.
He's
young enough.
Surfing. He was surfing, Miss Patty.
I'm sure he helped support at some point, one way or the other. Never mind. I'm going to stop myself. I'm going to behave myself. Okay. So we created. It's too far. You know, it was too far when I'm like, better not. Too much. So we recreated the YRs. I was trying to get them involved with the bylaws and everything else. And they were like, well, we want to make sure that we can support you when you run. And I said, okay, well, if you want to be able to vet candidates and do this and do that, that doesn't align with the TFRW's. I'm sorry, not TFRW. The Young Republicans platform. It doesn't align with their platform either. You can't vet candidates and you can't endorse a candidate. So you have to become your own entity. You can't be under their bylaws and play and want to play something else. Like you have to completely create something separate.
We do what we want.
Exactly. I said, so if that's what you guys want, then that's what we can do. So we had the minutes, we had everything. That's exactly what they wanted, because they wanted to be able to endorse and support candidates as opposed to just having to play by the party rules. So we did that, and that worked out great. Our numbers were growing, everything was hunky dory, and then the RNC started getting their little tentacles in there, and they started, testicles from a woman's body, and then they just kind of started.
They log cabined it.
They log cabined it really quick. Yep.
They came in the back door, and they came in the back door.
Turning
Gross,
so anyway,
right?
they did. They came and they completely, literally shot it to hell, and
they turned it into what they normally do. They turned it into a popularity contest instead of principality contest, and in doing that, the tenets of the conservative Republican were thrown out the window. That is why you saw the vast decrease in the activity of people along the border, because of how the RNC, how the Texas GOP, and how the young Republicans, how all those little groups came in and screwed it up, because all they go back to is, oh, we have convention, oh, we're going to have arguments, we're going to be smoking weed afterwards, and we're going to be drinking, and so-and-so is wearing some booty shorts, so make sure you get a piece. Whenever at the end of the day, they needed to actually solve the country's problems, and they could have on a local level, but they decided to be bastardized.
Oh, and guess what? The RNC
solve all the problems
all over the district, just like I said they would.
Yeah.
Hey, I just had a thought, and it made my brain hurt. Why do we have to keep saying conservative Republicans? What the heck?
Yeah, just conservatives, because I physically work with people that they're Democrats. They do not believe in the Democrat Party, but they refuse to come to the Republican Party for this exact reason right here. Everyone wants to demonize these Democrats, but they are way more conservative than most of our Republicans. And that's the part that whenever you can sit down with a lawmaker and literally have an eye-to-eye, face-to-face conversation, they can physically take your bill and work forward with it, because the Republican was like, well, we were told not to touch this right now. It's not on the speaker's priority. But yet the Democrat comes in and says, you know what? That's what my community wants. And they can run with a conservative bill. That should tell you everything right there.
So Democrats are allowed to do stuff that Republicans aren't?
No, these are people that are acting as their own. Remember, you're hinging on the name of Republican and Democrat. What you need to look at the name is conservative Texans. Right now, there's only 2 parties allowed in the state of Texas. That's it. You can throw your name Libertarian Green Party all day long, but they will never go anywhere because of the funding machine. And Democrats, they stick together even though their platform is crazy. The Republicans have a very solid platform, but they're so weak-minded that they're going to jump behind Dave Phelan and all the groomers at David Weekley at Dick Weekley's expense in a heartbeat, because we got to have that money. We got to have that money. Look at how much money. Look at how much of the $5 million was given out from Dave Phelan's campaign. Remember, he had no challenger, but people were dumping money into his coffers. And what does he get to do? He gets to put that money into Stephanie Click. They beat her out of her race by a guy who got her into a runoff by a guy who literally could have undone what she, but they could have undone the damage she was doing. And we had good conservatives that said, we can't take her out right now because that's what the plan is. We need her in charge of this such and such committee. Well, here's the bottom line. The conservatives that we know and love that backed up things like this, like we had good conservative legislators at one point in their life. They were good conservative legislators. They physically got on the phone, called into those districts, and talked crap about good Christian men that all they wanted to do was do the right thing. And this is the crap show that we got this past year, specifically because of somebody on the other side of the state sending out written flyers, endorsements, and making phone calls into that guy's district for his runoff.
In support of Stephanie Click.
In support of Stephanie Click.
Because they need her to continue to be the fall person, but they did let her get a win
These are the people that are asking for your money. These are the people that they come and they give you a Bible verse at their meetings, at your meetings. And then they turn around and here's the deal. Because that's on the other side of the state, you're not supposed to know about that unless you're dialed in all around the state. And all of a sudden it's like, hey, did you know that so-and-so is calling in? And it's like, that's pretty comical. Did not know that. And then they recorded the robocall going around.
Robocall, yeah.
In the person's voice, and you're like, hey, and then so whenever I sent it to the legislator, well, you have, at first it was denied. Oh, I never did that. I never did that. Oh, we're not doing that. And then you send them the robocall with their voice on it, and they're like, so you need to understand that we have some legislation we've been trying to get passed. Well, here's the deal. The reason why Florida is passing the laws that they're passing that Texas can't pass is because Florida's not playing the game. Their governor said, stop screwing around, pass this legislation. And there are Democrats over there coming to the table saying, you know what, what he's saying is right. I mean, I may have to be I may have to put rainbows all over my website, but it doesn't mean I have to, I have to confide in that, because Democrats need unity. When it comes to the vote, what did he do? DeSantis was able to pull the right people into office. We personally have a friend who she passed the law as a freshman legislator. She passed the law where China can't buy any more of the property in Florida. Wow, could we have that here in Texas? Because we're watching
Apparently
China.
Not.
Yeah, and the same thing goes with illegal immigration. You can't even have a driver's license from another state and drive in Florida if you're an illegal alien. If you're here in the country illegally and you have another state's driver's license, it is no longer recognized in Florida. They will tell you, hey, we might not be able to deport you, and I don't know what the process is.
Well, you can be a peace officer now.
No, well, so now you need to go back on what that law is physically about. That law is for veterans who have served in the military and are legal. They are legal residents, resident aliens. Now, here's people are saying illegal aliens, and that's incorrect. They are resident aliens. They have the resident alien card. They've served the country. Now, I'm not behind it, because my thing is, if you're going to enforce our laws, you need to be a citizen. But the right, the extreme right, is selling it as it's giving illegal aliens the ability to enforce our laws, and that's not the case, because they'd have to arrest themselves and leave.
Well, they don't have to worry about that, because the Border Patrol will pick them up and bring them back over.
Oh no! They won't pick them up and bring them back over. They'll cut the wire and let you walk through freely.
Yes, wow. I mean, whatever. It's not a problem. It's not a problem. Yeah. But Walter, I think that is just part of that slippery slope then for, the whole it's fine. Just let everybody in and we're going to take care of them. And then we'll just make them a citizen. It doesn't matter. We're not going to vet them. We're just going to say, come on in.
Well, this whole DACA thing, I mean, so they're creating fake outrage is all they're doing. All they need to do is pass the proper immigration laws. And remember, the immigrants of yesteryear that came over legally or illegally, they never got on Social Security. They never said, give me. The reason France is burning right now is because they opened up their borders and they got what they're getting. You watch. You're
not allowed to talk about that, Walter.
Oh, no.
Everything is fine in France. There is nothing happening there.
My family is in France right now. They get to watch the fires burn every single night. So
why are they there? Oh my gosh!
Well, hey, they had tickets to go. It's not their fault that somebody decided.
They're having a fire sale on tourism right now.
Well, they plan. Yeah,
but you know what?
They have 2 children that graduated, one college, one high school. They had this plan since last year, and so they went. And just as they were landing, the first of the fires were starting.
Oh my
God. I was looking at pictures and stuff, and the amount of vehicles that have been burned. I was talking earlier this week about it, or over the weekend with somebody, and one of the conversations was, usually America is 5 to 10 years behind Europe, but this time Europe took a page from BLM and said, hold on a second. we can burn even more cars. And so that's exactly what they've done.
Well, and so look at what happened with
I don't think
African...
they're looting like they are here. They're just burning cars down.
Well, no, not just cars, but there's things. But remember, that is because of their amnesty immigrant policy they had of letting everybody in. That they have no-go zones, just like we have the no-go zones here in Liberty County. They have massive swaths of no-go zones. Matter of fact, the cops will be killed if they go in there. That's why they're saying, hey, we want the illegal alien Muslims to come in and do their thing because they can keep their people together. They physically have two forms of law over there. They have Sharia law and whatever their European, because it's not just France, it's many different countries. We have friends that are in parliament in the UE of the different countries, and they will tell you their problem is the illegal immigrants that were allowed to come in, that were allowed to immigrate into their system illegally, that were allowed to cross their borders and just stake claim, hey, this is where I'm going to be. I'm going to live on the street. I'm going to beg, loot, rob, and steal. You can't fill enough jails with these people they've thrown their hands up and they've ceded their countries over.
Sandra's dying to say something.
Rachel and Simon have got a P war going on in the comments over here, and I'm like, we do technically need to have at least one more commercial break, but this is gold. This is
Simon, go pee on France.
And then Walter's all like, and then we have European, and I'm like, it just gets even better.
We have a theme for the day.
We have a theme. Okay, we do have a theme, but we need to take a commercial break. We have to keep it legal. And Simon, because I love you, we'll do the big commercial break.
But remember, it's the short. Oh, you're doing the big commercial.
But you know what? No, I'll do the TFL women one, but we'll play it twice.
No, just spend less time shaking, Simon. You can do it.
Let's see.
Shake that.
It's me.
It was you.
I was doing some fluffing.
I went to tap me, and then you popped up, and I was like, oops, I had the wrong one.
At least I wasn't eating a banana.
That's right. Walter's no longer here, so no one would have. Oh wait, but Simon's always watching. Simon, you know what? Walter and Patty both disappeared. Maybe there's something happening in Montgomery County. We didn't get the memo.
Still shaking.
Patty's
out here, but not here.
Okay, a huge thank you to our amazing sponsors, the Montgomery County Tea Party. Don't forget the first and the third Monday of every month. Citizens Grill, Conroe, Texas. The meeting starts at 6:30. Get there early so that you can enjoy some fun company, get something yummy to eat. Also, a huge thank you to the Vietnam Veterans of America. Your service and sacrifice went far beyond a foreign shore. You continue to serve your military brethren and sisterhood by supporting their families, making sure they have resources that are needed, but you also help your community. So find a Vietnam Veterans of America and get plugged in with them, even if you just take them something yummy or some treats, or maybe drop them a little love offering. Do something special for them and tell them welcome home. And then let's see what else. MammothNation.com/#WeThePeopleWork right there. Sign up under that link. It's only $25 for the year. You get exclusive discounts on veteran and American-owned businesses. So you definitely want to make sure that you're there. And when you sign up, you support our show. And we definitely need your support. So please check out MammothNation.com. Also, you can go to TexasFullyLoaded.com/#WeThePeopleWork. PayPal, Cash App, and Venmo at Texas Fully Loaded. We truly, truly, truly need your support. Don't forget, we should be launching our very first Real and For Real line. We've got 2 new t-shirts that are coming out, and we've got coffee cups that are coming. So be on the lookout for that. Dad's working on the kinks on the website, so I'm really excited. You guys saw the coffee mug, so just know there's more to come. I'm bringing you back on here. But before I do, Charlotte has been very patiently waiting because she didn't get to tell everybody what her favorite part of the beach was. So Charlotte, come here. Come tell us what your favorite part of the beach was. She literally just flopped back over there. She's like, I'm never going to get to tell. Come on, hurry. Come tell everybody what your favorite part of the beach was.
I want to hear.
She's like falling over the bed now. Okay. All right. What was your favorite part of the beach, little girl? Everything. You're such a cheese ball. Hey, tell them what you told that jellyfish that stung you.
Oh.
Yeah, it stung your arm. No good. You just needed a little limelight. You felt like you were left out of the show and it was Women's on Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Are you good now? Okay, I love you. Okay. Say bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Okay.
Are you done?
No, not that bye, y'all. Not the big bye, y'all. That's in 20 more minutes. You can big bye, y'all, with us. Well, 15 more minutes. Give us 15 more minutes.
Okay.
Then you can big bye, y'all, with us. Okay. All righty.
Okay, you know what I want to talk about?
Go on.
Guess what's due in 10 days?
The second session?
Campaign finance reports.
Oh.
So I just want to remind people of that fact that, you need to be getting these campaign finance reports and looking at them and seeing who's given who the money to run these campaigns, because it just goes back to that conversation we were just having, and so a lot of these state reps are fundraising off of their, all the wonderful work that they did during this last session and saying, come on, I need money so I can go back and get you this property tax relief and all that. But not just your state reps and all those people. Look at your local county officials' reports as well. Now, those are not going to be online if you live in a smaller county like me. You're going to have to do a public information request, and you can do that through your county attorney's office.
Oh, good to know.
And it's very simple. You're just, sending over an email asking for those campaign finance reports, and you don't even have to get them printed out. You can just ask them to email them to you in PDF form, so you don't have to pay a bunch of fees to have them printed out or anything. And they are legally required to get those for you. So if you want to see who is funding your elected officials and your candidates in your county, get those reports.
Yes, Simon, a regular citizen can do that because it's an open records information. It's something that has to be publicly made to you because they are an elected official
or a candidate. You don't even have to be elected. It's public information who is contributing to those campaigns.
Yep. Because there are rules even though there's max contributions there isn't a max contribution for state candidates. There's still rules that they have to follow by. They still have to report it.
Yes, and it's just fun being nosy.
Also,
well,
maybe more importantly,
and it helps you connect the dots.
Absolutely, surely does help you connect the dots. Yes,
and they follow the money for a reason.
If you're trying to support, a grassroots candidate, and you can look at, their opponent or the incumbent elected official and see how much money they've got in their campaign, it kind of can give you an idea of what you can be doing to help the other candidate if they're in need of funds. I mean, Sandra, as a candidate, Ms. Pat, as someone who has helped candidates, we always need more funds. I mean, there's always something more you can be doing to help get your name out there and to be able to network with people, et cetera, just to help people know who you are, especially if you're not the incumbent. Because once people are elected, you can't hardly get them out of office.
Right.
Because they have that name recognition, they have that brand. It's very stacked in favor of the incumbent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's also,
Simon, I don't know who the current county chairman is there in Atascosa County. I think I do, but I might be wrong on who it is. So I won't tell you who I thought it was. It used to be Bob, and I can't remember Bob's last name off the top of my head. But who is a great resource for anything to do with elected officials in Atascosa County is hold on.
So what you can do is you can just go to your county clerk and ask, okay, who all is filing a report right now? Who's required to file a report? And they can tell you who is required and who you can ask for.
He's one of the precinct judges. I'm sorry, not a precinct judge. He's he's one of the judges.
Like a JP judge?
Yeah, he's a JP judge. Bob Hurley is who I know it used to be. I don't know if it's still the same person now. Oh my gosh,
who it is. Go on your county website and see.
Yeah,
who your elected officials should be on your county website.
You can also, when you go and look at the contributions, you can see how many people contributed, because that's also important. If a person has one or two big donors but no small donors, that kind of tells you that he doesn't have a whole lot of support yet.
Yes.
I think we're going to see a lot of no-name people. In fact, I've already seen it here in Montgomery County. People that you've never heard of that are running for big offices, but they don't have any social media. They don't have any. They don't have a footprint at all. And
the Vaughns. Sorry.
Just ignore me.
Sorry, I remembered the name. Go on, Miss Patty.
But anyway, you can look and see if they've got, a whole bunch of small donors, then you see that there's a whole bunch of people behind them. But if they only have a big donor, that's, very telling.
Yes, and that's part of the reason why whenever I had my campaign kickoff event, I wanted to have numbers of people that were making a donation, just to show that I do have support of people. It's not just one large donor. It is lots of people, individuals who are supporting my campaign, because it makes a difference. It's going to make a difference for my opponent to see that on my campaign finance report.
Yeah. And to me also, when you have somebody that says they're running for office, look at their social media, look at who their friends are on social media, look at what they post. Now, true, a lot of them don't necessarily post their own stuff, but if there's something on there that is a red flag to you, as much as I hate red flags, but if it is, then you look and see how often stuff like that is posted. But it kind of gives you a basis of what this person is and who they are. They usually will have a campaign Facebook page, but they usually also have a personal one. Look up their name. Don't just, you have to do your own homework. Here in Montgomery County, the people are lucky because Montgomery County Tea Party does the homework. And so they just go to US Vote Smart and they can find most of those things. But I urge people, go to their meet and greets. You don't have to give money to go to most of the meet and greets. But go and listen to them, hear what they say. Remembering that they will say anything to get a vote.
Yes.
But that's the reason why you have to look at that, and you have to look at their personal media page. You have to look at their family life. You have to look at their history, what they've done in other places, and just see what kind of person they really are. Because when you get people that you've never heard of before, then you really have to start digging, because you don't really want somebody who has zero experience in anything to be your legislator or to be your precinct chair, or even your precinct chair, but your county commissioner.
Right. Like I haven't been on the commission, but I've been going to commissioner's court for over 2 years now. Every second and fourth Tuesday of the month, I'm there at commissioner's court, sitting in that courtroom, observing, learning the processes, all of those things in preparation for walking in that door on day one and having somewhat of a view. Of course, I understand that a lot of the business transacts behind closed doors. It's not in open court and all of that. And so I really won't have a great lay of the land until I'm actually elected and in there. And then I think some poop is going to hit the fan, because I'm not one of their good old boys, and it's going to be very interesting to say the least.
But a candidate like you, Rachel, when people look at you, they can look at the fact that you have been politically active on your social media. So they know that you are not a new kid on the block. Right. They know that you know how the sausage is made, and that's important. I mean,
yes, the sausage.
Yeah. And it's
so Simon, I'm gonna pick on Atascosa County just because it was his county, because he said that you can't find the elected officials on there.
Oh, look at your courthouse.
They have a gorgeous courthouse, don't they?
That is a beautiful
I love looking at courthouses.
I do too. It's one of my favorite things when I'm traveling across Texas. So you don't find it immediately who your elected officials are. You usually have to click through, right? And then you find the commissioners, and then you have to click on the commissioners page, and then it'll tell you who your commissioners are. And I'm just as an like this is how it works. And so it would be you'll have to go through each one and do the same thing, because your judges are elected and all that kind of stuff. So you have, they don't make it necessarily easy for you, but it is all public information, so they can come back and be like, see, it was on our website. It's not my fault you didn't look for it.
I'm not above calling them and saying, yes, I'm on the website and I'm looking for this. Can you please help me find it? And I've always had a good interaction with every time I've called and I'm looking for some kind of information, whether they can point me in the right direction on the website, or if I need to make that public information request and them directing me to, what I need to do there. So just call. I mean, it's your money. Mm-hmm. It's your elected officials, and don't just get over that intimidation of, oh, I can't call, I'm just a regular person. No,
they work for you.
You are at the top of the organizational chart. The citizens are at the top. The elected people are down here. They're serving these people at the top. Stop inverting it and getting it all messed up. You just have to change your mindset on that.
And every county has to list publicly who their elected officials are. That is law. So
that's the least they can do.
Yeah. So even like these little tiny counties that you think you can't find any information on, because there's like 900 people in the whole county. Nope. They have to publicly list who they are because they have to be able to find these people for whatever, right?
Contact them, yeah.
There's always a way to be able to find who runs the county, because that they have to be able to have access to that information.
Well, and a lot of times if you read those campaign finance reports, you'll find out who really runs the county.
Yes. The contractors.
Simon gave us a great way to end the show. I couldn't agree more, Simon. We are already done for the day. I can't freaking
yes, and I gotta run.
Happening.
I have an appointment.
I know we get kicked out of the hotel in like 5 minutes, 6 minutes. So I want to show Simon did post this yesterday. I saw it. You channeled it. We do have this telepathy thing, Simon. So here it is, America. You're welcome.
Okay, everybody take a shot. Simon said it.
Simon said it. Guys, we love you. We will see you tomorrow right here on Texas Fully Loaded. Charlotte, how do we end the show?
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.